Rodney Johnson, and you're watching Young Visionary TV, and this is our first segment of the education part. So check this out. I have brought my family, the crew, my co-workers for about 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. 2 years, and we just wanna give you the experience that we get to have every day, and we're gonna talk about a whole bunch of stuff, But let's start off with you. We're gonna introduce. We're gonna do introductions real quick.
All right, I'm Manley Moore, second year CTE teacher.
Kelsey Story, second year visual arts teacher.
Fourth year CTE.
I'm Jenna Ure, I'm a fourth year Spanish teacher.
Fifth year general music course teacher.
What's your name?
Kabor Mark.
So one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video is because I really feel like a lot of people don't have this genuine relationship. So starting off, I want to talk about like really how has our relationship impacted your career? How has it helped you being a teacher? Let's just start with you because your facial expressions. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that if it wasn't for this group right here, I probably wouldn't have taught this year. Because coming from my background it's not teaching, it's graphic design. So just hopping off of that and jumping into teaching was a huge struggle for me.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what kind of makes us a different dynamic though, because me and Moore didn't go to school for teaching. Not at all. We both went to school for business. And what was your degree?
Just Spanish.
Spanish.
Well, I did.
The wise one of the bunch.
The only one that wanted to be a teacher. So I think that's why we bring this type of impact that we do inside of our classrooms. Not saying for everybody that went to school for teaching sucks, but what I am saying is it makes us different. What do y'all feel about?
We had to tap into other areas of the toolbox that wasn't given to us through a traditional 4 year of learning. You know, we had to call on past experiences, past employment, and bring in our own creativity, build our own toolbox and allow, the training to put more tools in that. But we kind of had to just kind of be immersed in this culture that none of us were really, except Martin, none of us were really used to. So we had to, kind of get it on our own a little bit. While
run and pick stuff up.
You had to figure out what the toolbox was.
Yeah, that's
right.
And then build into it.
Right.
I think I tell them all the time, one of the biggest blessings of these past 2 years is during my first year teaching, I was the youngest on the campus. I was the baby of every group that I was in. So all the time when I had a question, it was always, the baby has the young one. So like being around folks that are my age that kind of think the same way, have the same background, makes me feel so like, one, I was there, that was me. But also it's like, let's do this together. The unity in the community makes it so much better to go.
Yeah, for sure.
I know just like things that was not common to me used to frustrate me, but like looking at y'all faces in the meetings was just like, we're good. we good.
Yeah.
What was, well, did anybody else want to chime in on our relationship first before we moved in?
I was going to say it was like that safety in community where it's like in an unknown place, it felt like we were at home with each other, like very early on.
Yeah.
Like whether it was during planning, having our lunch together and being able to just share the struggles, share the exciting things. Like, hey, I tried this with my kids today and it worked. And then be like, I'm going to try that next week. So sharing the tools that we were picking up, I think that was super helpful.
Let's go ahead with struggles. You said something there. Struggles.
Before we get to struggles, I want to say you're right. Like I think like we all bought into each other in our encore team when we first started off.
Yeah.
Even Miss Bethay, our mentor, sat us down for those lunches.
Yeah.
What went well today? What didn't go so well today? You know what I mean? How are y'all feeling? What are you struggling? Because she knew, and even though you two, even Rodney, she knew like the first year struggle is something real. What I mean? You are constantly in a state of being overwhelmed.
Trying to stay above water.
Exactly. Trying to stay above water, always behind. Look left, there's something to do. Look right, there's something to do. A meeting to go to. And I believe that because we had that camaraderie, because we were intentional on building a team, not just because we all teach Encore, we were concerned about actually being a team and playing our parts.
I like how you say being intentional with the team, but one of the things that I do realize is like we weren't like, oh, I gotta make sure I meet, oh, I gotta make sure that I go. It just flowed.
Yeah.
It just like genuinely, I have a question. Can you help me? Genuinely, like we just,
Going.
in a lot of places, business, education world, anywhere, a lot of companies, a lot of people don't have teams like that. And the way that we just jailed was a huge blessing. A huge blessing. So, struggles.
What I wanted to say is just struggles as well as piggyback on what we were talking about earlier. Coming from Jamaica, it was because I was teaching in Jamaica, and it was a bit of struggle for me when I was here because I had to get used to the culture here, American culture, with in the way in which we actually teach here, and the difference back home. And it was like everything that I've learned in college as an educator, it was like I had to throw it through the door because it wasn't making any sense. So us as a family, it was a very good thing because the thing is we had the opportunity to like learn from each other, to like say, all right, cool, this doesn't work for you, you could try it this way. Because I've had questions like, yo, this is not really working, and stories right beside me. What do you think about it? How can I, what have you done? Like, you could try this. I have this you could use if you want to use it, right? So it was very easy for us to like just bounce off each other and get experience.
Like, I can literally think that there hasn't been a time where I've been like Martin Ewart Johnson story. Can I? And y'all have said no. There has never been a time that we have like, unless it's something that we didn't have, we've said no to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we didn't have it, we would offer, well, maybe
Yeah,
try this.
or we literally try to find
somebody.
Yeah, like, and it just came together. It's just like, it was a beautiful thing.
I think we were well aware of each other's struggles also.
Yeah.
Because I love how you just said that, because while we were learning education, you won't even worry about education. You was trying to get the culture. Like, am I making sense? Do it. When I say this word, is this what y'all mean? I remember like a lot of your first year, you was like, am I supposed to say this word? Does this sound right? This is like.
I feel like early on, one of my struggles were I was told that it would happen keeping my distance per se from the people who have been teaching 10 plus years, who are tired of teaching, don't have anything good to say about teaching, and that can be very damaging to a BT, to a beginning teacher. So trying to avoid all the negative things that they had to say, what we should be doing, what we should not be doing. And you're thinking as a BTE teacher, you're not concerned with, any of that. You're just trying to hit the ground running.
I'm just trying to do a job.
I don't want to, on top of me being nervous, on top of me feeling overwhelmed and underprepared, I don't want to hear about how negative your experience has been as a teacher.
Especially when I'm just coming in.
Especially when I'm just coming in.
And I've realized in my first year, I just like, it was a period where I was just hanging with them, and I was just like, yo, this is not why I hopped in the game. Like, this isn't why this, and then their problems were becoming my problems, and I never saw a problem in those problems.
Right.
Like, I was literally one of the teachers in the classroom, in the meetings, and they were having complaints about certain students. I was just like, oh, they fine in my class. They're good.
That's a lot.
And it's frustrating. How you said it's frustrating being around that. How did you like?
I hung around y'all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
I have nothing against any of the other teachers who may watch this who go to our school. I mean, if I wasn't,
You need a new job, y'all.
right? If I wasn't with you all as a whole, I was either with Mr. Johnson or Mr. You know what I mean? Like, I really was intentional about not letting other people's mentalities negatively influence what I do in my classroom. So
Yeah.
How is let's go ahead into that. Building your space, building your classroom. How has that been? Because I know each year we add on a different level. I know each year, and I've even seen you grow. It's like your first year, and then at the end of the year, I'm gonna try this. Or at the beginning of the year, I got this. Even semesters, I've seen you just add on, not just to the classroom, but to your I was going to say theology, that was a real churchy. Pedagogy. But just your aspect of how you view education should be. So if anybody want to take that or run with it, just like how have you just continued to add on?
I think for me, so I started off in one classroom, so talking about the physical space, classroom over in the 6th grade hallway, and I really like invested in that space, was very intentional with the decorations I used, making sure that it not only related to the content that I was gonna teach, but would strike questions in students, like why does she have that on her wall? I'm glad you asked. And then because of necessary changes on campus, I had to change classrooms this year, and that was hard. So it was like, but this is my home, like this is my place on campus where I show up there, it's like my stage, like this is where I can go and just give all that I have. And so that, honestly, it robbed me of that in the best way, because then I had to create the culture that I could pack up and take with me wherever I teach. And so I rethought at the end of my first year here, instead of giving like a whole long list of rules and expectations and policies and procedures that were just crushing and hard to follow, and kids, it doesn't naturally come when you say do's and don'ts, exactly. Yeah. And I summed it up in a quote by a man named Jim Elliott that is, wherever you are, be all there. And that's how I started the first day of second semester last year. That's how I started this school year. And it completely transformed my expectations, because everything fell under that quote. Like, if you're not all here, then you're off task, you're talking, you're late, you know? And like that, it became this known thing of like, you drop everything, like as far as my kids, you drop everything off at the door. And for 50 minutes, you're in my space, which is a safe space, it's a fun space, it's an inviting space, it's an event, you know, like, and my kids throughout the semester, all I have to say is, are you all here? Are you all here? And they knew exactly what I meant. And so it was everything fell into it. Pedagogy fell into that. Classroom management fell under that. Expectations. So,
I don't think people realize how much the atmosphere in that classroom affects because each class, we all teach 6 classes, each class is a different identity in itself. And even though you've set this atmosphere, it's a different world in each. It can be 7th grade, but 7A and 7B are two different people. Two different. So like, it's not only that this safe space, because I totally agree. We're about to talk about that in a minute. Moving classrooms, your safe space, but like, who you are is like, if I'm pretty sure every teacher has like 15 different personalities in there, because like you gotta switch with the personalities that you contact with. So not only you have to, it's just so much with this machine that you gotta make sure that's running to adapt to 6 different classes, 28 at most, if not 30 students in each class in one semester. So it's just the add-on to that. And I definitely seen you've picked up and kept going.
Me, one of my things that I've learned with this, in terms of my classroom and everything, is creating a culture where you learn how to build a relationship with students. That's more important for me, because you have your classroom expectation, you have everything, but the kids will not follow those rules and expectations unless you are with them. Like, you've built that relationship with them. You've seen, they know you, you know them, you have built that, you have that camaraderie with them. And as you said before, every different classroom, different mindset, different things that are going through their minds, you have to just know them like that. I know that, look, I'm here for you, you're safe with me, but at the same time, I want you to know that, look, I have some expectation that I want you to live up to as well, right? As a teacher, that's what is more important for me in my classroom. When I was learning or doing my degree in education, they were like telling me to like have my classroom expectation, have my classrooms and stuff like that, but that doesn't make any sense unless, for me that is, you have that relationship with the kids, know who they are, have communication with their parents if needs be, build that relationship with them. especially the bad ones.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I'm the same way. That relationship aspect, what I lacked in, because I didn't go to school for teaching, what I lacked in, what's the word?
Pedagogy.
I see the science of teaching. Come on.
Ain't that the horse with the wings?
I can't hear
It's Pegasus. What I lacked in pedagogy, I drew strength from building relationships with kids. One of the spills that I gave at the beginning of every semester was, this is a safe space. And I said, listen, this is such a safe space, so much so that I need you to tell me at the door, because I agree with all my students at the door, Mr. Moore, I'm having a bad day. Because I don't want what happened at home or happened in the class before mine to come in and negatively affect the good time that you can have in my class. So I tell students, you need to tell me at the door, Mr. Moore, I'm not feeling well. Mr. Moore, I'm upset. Mr. Moore, I don't feel like doing anything today. Can you just sit me in the corner so I don't want to be bothered? That is fine, because I'd rather you tell me that at the door and I kind of isolate you than for you to mess up the mood, the atmosphere of my class and ruin it for other people as well. And it happened, Mr. Moore just left, Mr. Martin Clay, I'm just playing. Just all this stuff. And the thing though was that I found myself, I was building good relationships with students, but a lot of times to the negative, to the other side, sometimes those relationships weren't leveraged in a way that like they would do work for me. Like I would have a student come and tell me their life story, what's going on at home, my dad did this, my mom did this. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, but we can't spend 50 minutes, in a counseling session. They'll confide in me and tell me their life story, but then they wouldn't do any work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I had to leverage that to be able to say, okay, it's cool that we talk like this, but at the end of the day, you're a student first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're a student first, and that's my expectation of, it's like, tell me what you're going through, but at the same time, when you come to my class, you have a responsibility. And I'm gonna encourage you, I'm gonna push you, you're gonna confide in me, but at the same time, I have a job too.
I think it's a science of people. Teaching has allowed me to see how to properly, because relationship building is very important with your students.
Right.
But also the relationship building with your peers is so necessary to make sure that your students, because like my coworkers can get on my last nerve, and then I bring that onto, like, we just get out of a 50-minute meeting.
That's true.
And I'm lit. Like I'm livid. And then I come in and I'm expected to teach my last 2 classes, and they're feeling what I just brought in.
That's true.
And then also I've learned that it's just like knowing the science of people, like how you have to be strategic on building those relationships so that they can see the value in what we're doing here is for your benefit, not just for me to get to know you. I want to get to know you to help build you to who you're supposed to be.
Right.
Not just get to know you so I can get you to do. Because at the end of the day, a grade is a grade. But am I building you to be a good citizen in society?
I was joking with you one time, Johnson. Was like, I got students who won't do any work for me, but I know that because of our culture where we teach, I know that if I got into like a physical fight, these students
what you won't do?
they got my back. They won't do no work.
Listen.
But like if I got into an altercation, they'll be like, okay, like
what we not gonna do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when it's so interesting, and Jenna hit on, and you did too, about how 6 different classes, 6 different personalities, and that adaptability that you spoke to, 2 grades, 2 classes in each grade. If I taught a lesson in 7A and it went well or went horrible, I have a 3-minute transition period to say, okay, either I'm gonna scratch this lesson altogether, or because I know this class personality, I need to change this, switch that, change this, and we'll be doing that 3 or 4 times a day. Like it's exhausting, you know what I mean? And because you don't, if it failed in your first class, you don't wanna, teach it the same way in the next class. So also that adaptability was also a struggle that I had to learn early on. You know what I mean? Every class is night and day.
Yeah.
Every class is night and
I
day.
think once I figured that out, it's difficult and exhausting and on the front end, but it saves me a whole lot of frustration on the back end. If I'm trying to like fit this lesson plan to all 6 of my classes exactly the same way, I'm gonna get to the end of the day and be extremely frustrated because one class got it, the other class hated it, the other class was confused the whole time.
Shaquandra went sit down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that 3-minute turnaround is like time to improvise and think through it. And
I think
post it.
I remember something I said, and I was particular if I wanted to post it or not, because I know people that are not in education wouldn't get it. But if you've been teaching at least for 1 year, you would understand it. Is like people would be shocked on the amount of days that you actually get the chance to really teach.
Because you're dealing with constant.
yes,
Stop, sit down, don't move, get
redirection.
instructions. I got to the instructions today, but we didn't get to the.
Yeah.
Right.
And then those days that you could just flow and you
They make it all
give
work.
the content out, and then they throw back life with it. It's just like, God, ooh, like
This is why I'm here.
This is why I'm here. Those days are the rarest,
Mhm.
but those days make it work.
Yeah, and then going off of like our sibling group here, like the best thing is when one of us has those days and we come to the huddle and we're like, y'all, it was the best lesson I've ever taught. Like even with our virtual schoolers, like those days where they actually showed up and I was actually able to teach.
I think it gives momentum to
Celebrating.
each of us.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, Jenna's having, and she's got 18 virtual learning logging in, and I got 2. Something's wrong here. So and we've even had those moments in the hallways where I'd be like, y'all, ooh, I was on the tables the whole class year. And then Moore would be like, bruh.
Not
You
today.
know,
Not today. Y'all can have these students. And that's funny that you say that, because like that makes me, not that I'm in competition with you all, but that makes me want to step up my game. It's like, if they come to my door and it's like, yo, Mr. Moore, I just had the best time in Miss Yours class, and I'm looking at my lesson plan like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
That's good. Like, we taking notes today. Cornell notes.
We taking, like, but seriously, it makes you want to like improve.
Yeah.
Is like, so these kids are having a consistent experience from the time they step foot on our campus to the time that they go home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that's the dream that I have, not even for us, but for campus wide. It's like every single classroom is a class that's an experience for these kids. Now every day is not gonna be fun and lights, camera, action, you know what I mean? But they can take something from every class.
But that's the beauty in education, because every day is not the same.
Right.
Because you're dealing with so many different personalities, so many. So like I love that, because if I was working a desk job, I know that I gotta send these amount of emails. I know, and you may love that, but I just love the fact that I can come in and Johnny might be popping off today, and then tomorrow come in and he just loving on me and
like it didn't happen.
and I'll be like,
You have to go with that.
hello.
Yep, you gotta hit
And you
the ground
can't
running.
not hold every day is brand new.
We have some strong
No record
personalities.
wrong.
I'm surprised.
Yes, and I told him that. I said, me and you can get into it today. I said, come Tuesday morning when you step foot in my class, it's a new day. You know what
But
I'm
so
saying?
many
Like,
people don't get that.
Right.
it's-
And that's like so freeing as a
And
teacher.
it is.
Like if you can just figure that, like I remember my first year teaching high school, I was fresh out of college. Like I was almost the same age as some of the kids. Honestly, they bullied me. Like they made me cry all the time, and I would hold that. I would harbor that. I would go back the next day and be like, I don't want to teach 6th period because they were mean to me yesterday. And I didn't have that yet of like, I cannot keep these records are wrong. Like deal with discipline problems.
Right.
Learn how to have
We're not saying
enforce-
avoid it.
No,
We're
yeah.
not saying avoid it.
Learn how, and I didn't know that. I did not have the kind of mentorship I have here at my first school, where it's like, when a kid pops off at you like that, like there are consequences.
Mhm.
Like there has to be justice served in this situation. Serve that justice. But then the next day, or the next time they're in their class,
It's a new
after
grace.
ISS or whatever,
Grace.
it is a new day. You need to extend grace to them, and
And a lot of times it's not you.
no, it feels so
You
personal.
just happen
though.
to be the dartboard.
Yes, absolutely.
You
It's
thought,
like
"Ooh."
everything piling up behind them, and it's like the pressure
And
has
that's
been
what I was
released.
leading. That's what I was leading to. Is like,
You've been the dartboard a lot.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have been.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to interrupt, but I was
No.
gonna say like, I wouldn't say I'm not a stern person, but I'm a very laid back person, and I like to bring that to my classroom. And last year I was told a lot, you gotta find your teacher voice, you gotta find your mom voice, use your stern voice. And to me, that's like yelling at them, and that's not me.
Mhm.
And when I would do that, they're not gonna listen to you because, I mean, they're teenagers. They're getting to be teenagers, and I know I wouldn't listen to my mom when she was like that to me. So why are they gonna listen to me? So I've had to find that balance of, because I don't like my room to be quiet. I like some chaos in here, but it needs to be controlled chaos. Yeah.
Chaos.
And so I I tried to be so stern the first year, and I get a lot of personalities in my class.
Yes, you do.
The last 2 years, 4 years, it's
We're
been
so
a
glad
lot
you
of
made it. You
personalities.
get your awards.
But meeting them where they are and being their friend, but also being the adult, has worked better for me in my classes than trying to remind them that I'm the teacher and I'm the adult. So meeting them, but also having that, I don't know, that
Relationship.
like that line of, okay, I'm still the teacher, but I can be your friend too. You can trust me too. This is a safe space for you. Works better for me.
I think the bottom line of what we've been saying is relationship. Our relationship has allowed our relationship to be better. And then it's crazy because I'm sitting here thinking, like, if you cannot properly develop the relationship concept, it makes me question what do your personal relationships look like. Hey family, thank you for joining me for Confessions of a Young Teacher. Listen, I'm so excited because the conversation is not over. That is right. I need you to be on the lookout for part 2. Yes, part 2. But before you exit this video, I need you to do a couple things for me. Can you hit the like button? Can you hit the share button? Let everybody know about the conversation we're having. And then also, if you like what you saw, if you agree with the lessons that we shared, with anything that we talked about, I want to hear from you in the comment section below, okay? And then, don't leave the channel without hitting the subscribe button. All right, guys. Love y'all.